All right, let's dive into something pretty special today. We're going to travel way back in time, thousands of years, to what was once the wealthiest city on Earth, Babylon. But we're not here to talk about its famous walls or hanging gardens. No, we're here to uncover the financial wisdom they literally etched into clay tablets. Ancient secrets that promise to fatten any wallet, even yours, right now.
The ancient Babylonians had this real sense of destiny and luck. This proverb just nails that idea, right? That some people are just born lucky, like wealth just finds them, almost by accident.
But what if that's completely the wrong way to think about it? What if building real, lasting wealth has absolutely nothing to do with luck and everything to do with a system, a set of simple, learnable rules? Well, that's the big idea we're going to unpack.
Okay, so our story starts with a guy named Banser. Now, Banser was the best chariot builder in all of Babylon, top of his game. He worked his tail off day in and day out, but no matter how hard he worked or how good he was, his purse was always, well, empty. Just frustratingly empty. Man, this quote hits hard because it's a feeling so many of us can relate to, right? You work tirelessly, you earn a decent living, but at the end of the month, you have nothing to show for it. For Bansier, wealth felt like a total fantasy, something for other people, not for him.
And then, finally, he and his musician friend, Kabi, have this aha moment. It just clicks. They've mastered their crafts, building chariots, playing music, but they've never once actually tried to master money. So they decide right then and there to stop dreaming and start learning. And they go to the one person who has it all figured out, Arkad, the richest man in Babylon.
So they find Arkad. Now, here's the thing about Arkad. He wasn't born rich. He wasn't some kind of aristocrat. He started out as a simple scribe, but he learned one simple, foundational rule that totally transformed his life and made him the wealthiest guy in the entire city.
And there it is. That's the secret. He learned it from his mentor, a rich moneylender named Algamish. It sounds way too simple, doesn't it? A part of all I earned was mine to keep. But really think about that for a second. Do we actually keep what we earn? Or do we just pass it along to our landlord, the grocery store, the phone company?
And the key here was precision. Arkad wasn't just told to save some money, he was given a specific, concrete number, at least 1/10 of every single thing he earned. Not what was left over at the end of the month, not after paying bills. 1 coin out of every 10 went to him first, period.
This is the fundamental shift in thinking that changes everything. You have to pay yourself first. Before the rent is due, before you buy food, before anyone else gets a piece of your earnings, you take your share. This single act turns you from someone money just flows through into a builder of wealth.
But Arkad's wisdom didn't stop there. The story goes that the king of Babylon saw that most of his people were poor, even though the city was swimming in gold. So he asked Arkad to teach his secrets to everyone, and Arkad boiled his knowledge down into these powerful cures for a lean purse. Okay, so we've already covered the first big one, paying yourself first. But here are 4 more game changers. 1, control your spending. You've got to learn to live on the other 9/10. 2, make your money multiply. Put that saved gold to work so it starts earning more gold for you. 3, protect your money from loss. Be smart. And 4, always be working to increase your ability to earn more. That third cure, guarding your treasures, man, Arkad learned that one the hard way. Early on, he took his entire year's savings and gave it to a brickmaker who was traveling abroad, telling him to buy rare jewels. Well, the brickmaker got totally duped and came back with worthless bits of glass. The lesson? It's simple. Seek advice from experts. You don't ask a brickmaker about jewels. This right here is such a powerful metaphor for compounding. See, when Arkad first started earning interest on his savings, he immediately spent it on fancy stuff. His mentor, Algamish, called him out, saying he was eating the children of his savings. The real path to wealth is to let your money's earnings, its children, and their earnings, the grandchildren, all work for you, building an entire army of golden slaves.
But you might be thinking, okay, that's great, but do these rules actually work when you've hit rock bottom, like absolute zero? Well, let's talk about the story of Dabasir. His journey from being a literal slave is probably the most powerful proof you could ever ask for. Dabasir had made every mistake in the book. He spent way more than he earned, got buried in debt, and, filled with shame, he just ran away from Babylon, abandoning his wife, his friends, his responsibilities.
His terrible money habits led him directly into the hands of slavers.
His big wake-up call came from Sira, his master's wife. She hit him with these absolutely piercing words, forcing him to see the truth. His slavery wasn't just physical chains. His mindset, his weakness when it came to his finances, that had enslaved him long before he was ever captured. So Sira helps him escape, and he's out there in the desert, lost, starving, on the brink of death. And in that moment, he has this profound realization. He decides he is not going to die a runaway slave. He's going to go back to Babylon and face his enemies, not people, but his own debts, and he is going to conquer them. And this became his mantra. This is the ultimate lesson of his entire story. The problem was never a lack of money or opportunity. The problem was a lack of determination. Once he found that fire inside himself, he knew he could find the way.
So, Dabasir didn't just go back to Babylon with a new attitude. He went back with a system, a simple but incredibly powerful plan that he literally carved onto a clay tablet to guide his every move.
And this was it. I mean, look at the beautiful simplicity of this. A complete financial system in 3 lines. 1/10 of everything he earned was his to keep. That's Arkad's role. 7/10 were for him and his wife to live on: food, home, clothes. And the last 2/10, that 20%, was dedicated entirely to paying back every single person he owed.
What's wild is how we even know about this. Dabasir's clay tablets were buried under the sands of Mesopotamia for nearly 5,000 years. Then, in the 1930s, a British archaeologist dug them up. And guess what? The principles on them are just as life-changing today as they were back then.
And here's the best part. In his personal letters, the professor who translated the tablets admitted that he and his wife were drowning in debt themselves. So they decided to try Dabasir's ancient plan. And they were absolutely stunned by the results. As he says here, the difference between having a plan and just drifting, it's everything.
So, when you boil it all down, the message from these ancient tablets is as solid as the clay they were written on. Building wealth, fattening your purse, it isn't about luck. It's not about fate or magic. It is about following a simple, timeless system. And it all starts with that first unbreakable law of gold: a part of all you earn is yours to keep. The lessons from Babylon have survived for millennia. They've proven time and time again that anyone can turn an empty wallet into a full one. So the final question really is for you. Your financial story is being written right now, today. If you were to carve it onto a tablet, what would it say? And more importantly, what do you want it to say tomorrow?